Hello out there to everyone in the verse. Gabby here with my weekly show where I do my best to offer up advice and solutions to the many interpersonal problems that any one of us might face, whether that be tackling relationship difficulties or just being an ear for someone in need. Tonight we have a couple of interesting stories I want to share, and of course a Dear Gabby update as well. Remember that if you have your own difficulty you would like to share, please mail in your concern or you can post it in the comments below, and I will give my very best advice to you if chosen. So be sure to let me know your troubles for your own chance at a problem-solving take from the galactically known Gabby. And we're back, Trumbull. How was your week? And did you attend the CitizenCon festivities?
I did not. I was held up in bed with the space flu, but I did watch some of it on my Moby Glass.
It was truly a sight to behold. So many good things announced. But Gabby has got to tell you that she was a little disappointed that there were no new Origin ships announced. The RSI brand is nice enough, but nothing beats the luxury of an Origin ship.
I don't know, that new Zeus ship looked like it was a good one, but I will stick with my Drake cutter. It gets me around the verse, and I just love how many miles per liter of quantum fuel I get.
All right, Trumbull. Drake is certainly not our sponsor, so your segue skills are feeling a little lacking today. But I will forgive you since I know you have been under the weather. But you know what always makes me feel better, and might have helped you as well? Garcia's Greens, which is today's sponsor, and just what your mother ordered. I mean, Trumbull, your mother literally wrote in a couple of weeks ago saying you needed to eat better, and so this is where you need to go.
I know, my mom has been leaving me all sorts of messages on my Moby Glass with coupons, and the Soul Detox is one she keeps recommending I get to feel purified and cleansed.
That's right, from Trumbull's mother lips to your ears. All right, Trumbull, roll the thing. So before we get to what everyone wants, Gabby's first gotta pay the bills. And so let me talk about tonight's sponsor for a spell. Garcia's Greens. Not only do they have my favorite salad in all of Stanton, which is the fungami. I mean, just the word fungami is a joy to order every time. But they also have my favorite tonics. Anytime Gabby is starting to feel a cold coming on, I rush out to grab the Citrus Rush, which is packed with all the vitamins you need to kick any cold Microtech can throw at you, with its perfect blend of sweet and tart. But I know what you're thinking. Gabby, what if I'm not in the mood for something so acidic? Well, they got you covered there too with their Fresh Garden Tonic, which if ever you could taste a rainbow, it wouldn't be a candy, but nature's finest and freshest ingredients found within the Fresh Garden Tonic. So the next time you're in New Babbage, go get a huge dose of health at Garcia's Greens from the garden to you, and order ahead using your Moby Glass so it's ready when you arrive. And now into my garden where I am cultivating some strong and healthy attitudes and weeding out any despair. Our first writer has some information to share that seems to touch on a couple of other writers' concerns we have had previously on the show, and so let's get to it. And they write, Dear Gabby in Space, long-time listener, and I would never write in about my own issue because I am not one to share due to my line of work, which is that of a bounty hunter. I seek out those high-risk targets that many do not even have a license for. The majority of my cases are from very high-paying customers where discretion is beyond important. Anyway, I am writing in today because I have heard a couple of mentions of something on your show, and while to the average viewer they would not seem connected, but because of who these people are, I thought I should give a word of warning for them, assuming it's not too late. The first is from your longtime writer, Dylan Fullstop, who we last heard was a little freaked out over a body that he found. He was correct in noticing the strange manner in which the body was left, and hopefully he has not dug into the issue anymore. The body was meant to be found in that state, which, if I'm correct, meant he found it like a closed book. This is the work of a known hitman in the Ellis system who has the cybernetic strength to fold a person up like a book and leaves them in a garbage can. The Ellis system should sound familiar because you had another writer whose new romance had disappeared, and they were from the Ellis system. I believe this individual was the very same person. The timing of Dylan Fullstop's letter and the details of hers are similar, and in fact, I believe the gentleman who wrote in with the gambling issues by the name of Trifecta of Issues back in one of your episodes from a few months ago is the very guy who went missing. Go back and listen to those 3 episodes, and I think you will see the similarities. Anyway, my part in this story is just that I saw a high-level bounty come through, and while I was in the middle of reading it to accept it, it suddenly went blank. After doing my own investigating, I found out that the transmission was cut and a feedback data corruption signal had also been sent out, so anyone who got that bounty suddenly had no evidence that it ever existed. And after doing further digging, I found that only someone with more power than I have seen in the Stanton system could have done this. Anyway, my advice for everyone I mentioned here is to just let this go and do not dig into it any further. There's more details, but that is all I am willing to say on the matter, and anything that happens after this is on those people. Great show, and you always keep me company on those long and dark nights. Just call me Mr. E. Dear Mr. E, thank you for writing in and for the words of warning. Going back through the shows you mentioned, I can say that the similarities are enough to warrant your warning. I hope to hear from Dylan Fullstop soon, since he, being the one who reported the body, makes him somewhat of a possible target if he happened to see more than he should. So Dylan, if you're out there, please write in and let us know that you're safe. As for the other party who was raced to unhappiness, I know this is not a definitive answer, and I think there will always be questions, but in this case those questions are probably better left not answered. I would hate to see anything happen to her, and I know how hard it can be to live without ever knowing anything. I hope to hear from both of those parties soon, and I thank you, Mr. E, for taking the time to connect the dots for us. We hope that nothing sinister is going on in the Stanton system and that no more of its residents are affected by this. Our second writer is going to be a change of pace on this show, which I think is much needed after the gravity of that first letter. Wait, hold on a second. Trumbull, this letter is not the clown story. Where's that letter?
Oh, sorry, Miss Gabby. This one just came in during the show and had a bunch of red letters marked important and had instructions to give it to you immediately. It looked like it's life or death or something.
Trumbull, it's not even open yet. We usually try to at least check them before opening. It doesn't matter. Here we go. Let's just do this over the air. Dear Gabby in Space, this is the CEO of Incense Innovations who you so rudely dismissed our product over the air a few weeks ago. And this letter is to call you out for your arrogance and quick dismissal of our product, to which we should hold you liable for misrepresentation and slander. You have not even tried our product, and yet we're quick to come to judgment over it. Now, we would be happy to accept terms, and if you were to just mention our product and maybe give it some praise or a Gabby recommendation, yada yada. Okay, enough of this. Oh boy. Dear CEO Instance Innovations, I cannot even thank you for this letter because you are clearly just trying to misrepresent the situation. I do not even need to go back and listen to my recording to know that I did not in any way slander your company or your product. I simply asked where your research information was for this product and what regulatory certifications it had passed. You see, Mr. CEO, anytime something is to be, maybe shoved up your ass or inserted into a human's body in any way, it must first pass health and safety certifications to be deemed safe for consumption or personal use. I received none of that information. The only information I received was just to blindly try your product, which would require me, again, sticking something up my ass in order to make my flatulence have more of a pleasant aroma. Now, Gabby does not have flatulence that smells like roses, but it does not take a person to have much of an IQ to know that you do not trust a product hawked by someone who would not even take the time to understand or fully know the laws that they are about to break. Your package and both of your letters are being sent off today to the proper authorities, so any further responses you receive will be from them. This matter is closed and you will not be receiving any further attention from my show. It is now time for a Dear Gabby update, and this week's update comes to us from Life in Tatters, who had lost their ship to a fire and no one was wanting to take responsibility to help them out. So let's see how things have turned out, and they write, Dear Gabby in Space, we just wanted to thank you for your help. Someone from Eclipse Mutual did reach out and we were put in a nice place to stay on Orison while our ship was towed in. Unfortunately, it was not salvageable. This left us feeling hopeless, but in the end, through Eclipse and your sponsor Origin, we were able to get a 600i, which was a slight downgrade in size for us, but the amenities and luxury of the ship have proven far superior. And you have made a convert of this happy couple over to Origin, so thank you so much for everything. We are now free to continue our voyage and will be singing the praises of the galactically known Gabby as well as Origin for the rest of our days. Well, I am glad your life is no longer in tatters and was glad to help your situation. My contact over at Eclipse Mutual reached out, and together with Origin, we were able to do something great for you two, and we were happy to do so. Take care and enjoy that new smooth ride, and what a wonderful way to end our show on. That is all for this week's show. Tune in next week, and until then, I hope you all stay safe out there in the verse. Me and Trumbull wish you all well. Thank you for watching. Say goodnight, Trumbull.
Good night, Trumbull.